Hello guys, I'm Quest, aka Beaver Magic, and I'm here again with
Barry, and I am Old Taku on TikTok, and this is day 3 of spoiler season for Strixhaven.
yes, we got definitely a couple good ones. We got 2 Elder Dragons in one day, which is pretty sick. We'll definitely talk about those right now.
Yep. So we have our first Elder Dragon. It is going to be for the Quandrix School, Tanazir Quandrix. 3 green and blue legendary creature, Elder Dragon, Flying Trample. When Tanzanir Quandrix enters the battlefield, double the number of +1/+1 counters on target creature you control. Whenever Tanazir attacks, you may have the base power and toughness of other creatures you control become equal to Tanazir's power and toughness until end of turn.
That card is definitely really good in Standard, Historic, and definitely in EDH. It's definitely really good in EDH.
I'm just not impressed.
I know what you mean. It could have been something busted, but yeah.
I mean, we already have Coma, so I guess I could live my busted Simic Commander dreams through Coma.
Yeah. But the overall is definitely really good.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, yes, this is still a very Simic thing to do. We've had commanders like this before, like the 3-drop Simic that doubles counters on things.
Yeah.
And and then what's it called? The Experiment Kraj or Kajik.
Kaji.
Oh, Kaji. Yeah.
That will definitely be good in Kaji too. You just have 2 ability that do the same thing. That's really good.
So I mean, yeah, this is a very Simic thing to do, but that part of Simic was never really my favorite. But yeah, for Standard, it'll be an amazing ability for the Overrun.
Yeah.
I mean, do you like it?
It definitely high on mana cost for Simic. I mean, there isn't really a Simic deck right now, but maybe there will be, and I could definitely see this guy being in a Standard deck because like it looks like the route the Simic go down to like +1/+1 countered on it, and definitely some sneak attacks like sneak attack spells.
Yeah.
And our next one, the Diezit one, Galazeth, Prismari, and it's a legendary creature, Elder Dragon, red and blue, 2 colors, flying, and when Galazeth entered battlefield, create treasure token, and artifacts you control tap, add 1 mana of any color, use this mana only to cast instants or sorceries, and it's a 3/4. So here's a hot take of mine. I wish it was 3 mana.
Oh my god, a 3 mana Elder Dragon. Okay,
but it was a 2/3, a 2/3 Elder Dragon that has those type of abilities. Would you want that?
Yeah, I mean, no, because it's still, at the end of the day, it is a much fairer version of Urza, which I'm happy about. It's very restrictive to, to just instants and sorceries, which is good.
Yeah, it's definitely a fair one. I mean, it's definitely some like sweet EDH stack. I don't think it's gonna be standard playable. Just because like it required like you to create like tokens. I mean, there is Gold Span Dragon standard, but who knows? We'll definitely see more of that card.
Yeah, because I mean, there's other cards that's in this set that's gonna interact with creating treasure tokens. I mean, we still have the food tokens from Thorn of Eldraine to add to your mana pool. So it is just a really great way for Izzet to get some sort of ramp, even if it is just for their instants and sorceries.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, red and blue, that's pretty much how they win anyway.
Yeah, I could definitely see this card now. I just thought of it right now, like in Historic Center, like Time Warp and all these extra turn spells. You could definitely like abuse it, like with food and like treasure tokens too. So can't wait to see all that. Yeah,
so that'll be a really fun build for a lot of people, and I mean, it is the lower costed Elder Dragon, so we'll see. We'll see where that's gonna go to.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and talk about the other legendary creatures that's coming onto here, and we have one of the more interesting ones I've seen in a while. It is Cody Vociferious Codex. That's a really hard word for you to say. 3 mana legendary artifact creature construct. It says you can't cast permanent spells, but it has 4 tap, add Wooburg. When you cast your next spell this turn, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile an instant or sorcery card with lesser mana value. Until end of turn, you may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Put each other card exiled this way to the bottom of your library in a random order.
This card seems really fun. Just build big spells or like it had the Cascade, but it's unfortunate I can only do it once. Would you prefer to be a static ability or just a tap ability?
I think it makes it fair being a tap ability.
Yeah,
we've already seen the issues of giving creatures just an ability that doesn't require it to tap.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, like look at how rampant Golos ran all over the place.
Yeah, it got banned in I think a good chunk of formats, but yeah,
it got banned. It got banned in standard,
historic, Pioneer,
brawl.
Brawl too. I don't think modern, but I know.
But I think modern is. I think it might just be too heavy, right?
Oh, it's not playable modern, but Field Deck got banned. But yeah, it's definitely a very interesting card. You can't cast permanent spells, which is definitely a.
And it's a mana rock on its own.
Yes.
I mean, not the traditional mana rock where you're gonna get the Wooburg for free, but paying 4 mana for a 5 Wooburg activation, it could also be viable in the you could also make it into an ultimatum deck.
Yeah, or like extra turns. Like I could definitely see like a fun extra turn list with this guy. Like, all right, let's see if we get another extra turn. Like as you cast another one.
Yes. And the one thing that really caught my eye was it doesn't specify that you have to use the Wooburg specifically for Wooburg. Mm-hmm. So if you have maybe an Alrund's Epiphany for 7 mana, you could use the Wooburg and add just 2 generic mana.
Yes.
And so that's a part where it kind of balances itself out for not being just a static ability. Mm-hmm. Right? So let's go to the next one.
Right. Next one is Rutha, Mercurial, my bad. Artist, and it's red and blue, 1 colorless, and a legendary creature, Orc Shaman, should have been wizard, but 2 colorless, return Rutha to the owner's hand, copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose a new target for the copy. I wish this should have been a wizard, but I guess Shaman's got this one.
I mean, yeah, I was actually pretty surprised by the choice of making Shamans. Is it colors? I always felt like those were more like green creature types. But yeah, just I mean having a what's that dual caster mage on your commander?
Yeah.
I mean you could already smell the storm coming.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like from seeing the whole set now, I mean we're definitely gonna get like a warlock in it or like all the different types of like classes. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
because they're all like everywhere. Like Orzhov just got warlocks and like druids and all that. So we'll definitely.
Yeah, we have clerics. We have shamans.
Yeah.
So yeah, this set is really fully rife with spellcasters of different types.
Yes.
Not just wizards like you predicted. All right, let's get to the next one. We have a Orzhov / Rakdos type of commander. It is Extus Auric Overlord. So for the front side, it's a double modal card. For the front side, it is 1 white and 2 black legendary creature, human warlock, double strike. It has Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery, return target non-legendary creature from your graveyard to your hand. And on the other side, we have Awaken the Blood Avatar. Sorry, this is Mardu. Jesus. It is a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you may sacrifice any number of creatures. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each creature sacrificed. This way, each opponent sacrifices a creature. Create a 3/6 black avatar creature token with haste, and it has whenever this creature attacks each opponent, it deals 3 damage to each opponent.
It just seems really off with Mardu trying to copy spells, you know? Like, I mean, there definitely is, like, the Icecrown Scepter and, like, some the red, like, Fork. I think Fork does copy, right?
Yeah, 4 copies.
Yeah, you definitely have those 2 mana red spells, but it just seems really interesting.
Well, I mean, we have, like, red does have, like, Fork, Reverberate, Reiterate.
Yeah.
So there is a good amount of copy spells, but really I think what's going to trigger this Magecraft on the front side is going to be just whenever you cast.
Yeah.
So whenever you're removing, like when you're doing spot removal, you're able to regrowth a card back into your hand.
Yeah, a non-legendary.
Non-legendary. Yeah. You know, we got to keep it fair, guys.
Yeah, It's really good. But yeah, the other side is definitely interesting for not standard, but more of historic. Because the Rakdos sacrifice deck is still legal, historic, and you put that card in basically just 2 mana because you're just sacking all your creatures and make your opponent sack, and you have like the devil that to deal a bunch of 1 damage.
Oh, Mayhem Devil.
Yeah, Mayhem Devil, and you just get a 3/6 off of it, and then your opponent's like has nothing.
Yeah,
like I think that card will definitely be being played
in historic.
Yeah,
in Rakdos historic.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Quest, let's get to your top 3 cards for this set.
All right, here are my top 3. One is Solve the Equation. It's 2 colorless and a blue. Sorcery, search your library for an insert sorcery card, reveal it, and put it to your hand, then shuffle your library. This card is pretty good for 3 mana, I do say. And we already got some comments already. Like, one guy's like, yeah, this card gonna, yay, another tutor.
For EDH. Oh, what fun it is to ride on any blue type of deck train.
But it definitely is budget. I'm glad it's uncommon, not rare. But yeah.
So like I'm pretty happy about the restrictions on this. It is sorcery and it's an uncommon. So yes, it'll be readily available to a lot of the people that maybe can't afford a mystical tutor, that don't want to shell out the money for a merchant scroll, even though merchant scroll is still relatively cheap, right?
It's around like $8, but yeah.
Who don't want to buy a personal tutor. A lot of these tutor staples in EDH are fairly expensive and do break the budget for some people. So it is great that Wizards came with, it's a little bit costed at 3, but then again, even Grim Tutor is pretty aggressively costed, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a great sort of reprint.
Yeah, it definitely feels like a reprint. All right.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next card, Sudden Breakthrough for 1 red and 1 colorless instant. Target could get +2/+0 and gain first strike till the end of turn, and then create a treasure token. This card's gonna be really good in Zada. Just saying there, like it just creates a treasure, and let's say if you have like 8 creatures, create 8 tokens and just keep on casting spells. What do you think about this card?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty narrow, right? It's pretty narrow just for the fact that it is really, when we saw this card, it was like, oh, straight to Zada.
Yeah.
But the best thing about Zada decks is they're relatively budget friendly. You can build a very competitive Zada deck for $50.
Yeah.
So yeah, for that alone, it's great. For standard or anything like that, it's a nice combat trick.
Yeah, I really don't think there are any like copy or anything for this card, to be honest. But yeah, it definitely seems good.
Yeah, because relative so when you use it as a card, when you go to swing in, you're like, all right, cool. For 2 mana, I'll give it +2/+0, and then you have an extra mana at your next turn.
Yeah, I could definitely see that being played like in Goldspan Dragon decks, but yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, it is. Oh my god, fairly disgusting.
Depending on how standard goes, it might be just treasure mayhem.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Or when I saw this, I was like, all right, cool, teamer treasures.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ramp out to Goldspan Dragon, play a whole bunch of these.
Yeah.
Yeah. I you know what?
Because you do get 2 treasure, because whenever a spell targets Goldspan Dragon, you make a treasure.
Oh.
And then you get that treasure too.
There
so
you go.
You get 4 mana off of it. So I think it's playable.
Yeah, because like the last time I played standard, Teamer Banefire was running rampant around the.
Oh man, that was like a year ago, I believe, or something.
No, I think it was like almost like 2 years ago.
2 years, yeah. You're missing out. All right, moving on to the final top 3. We're looking at Sinisters Domination, which is an instant for 1 black and 3 colorless, and you may pay 1 black and 1 colorless. If you do, target opponent may draw a card and then exile target creature. Phenomenal removal, no doubt. Like I think this is. I don't know about standard, because you really don't want to give your opponent like the
card draw,
card advantage. But it's exiles. That's just the best. If it's a destroyed, this card would be mediocre. But exile definitely pushes it ahead to like phenomenal. But in EDH, definitely play it. Like you could definitely like politics. Like, all right,
yeah,
I'll let you draw a card if I can kill this creature. Yeah,
exactly. And then there's other cards like there's that one that has Surveil. It costs 2 if it's pointed at a legendary creature.
Yeah.
and people still play that in EDH.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that this says exile is the top tier, the chef's kiss of removal in any format, right?
Yeah, this is definitely just I think this will probably go into some mono black decks. Definitely. I mean, definitely a bunch, not some.
Yeah.
But yeah. Moving on to my underdog card, Resculpt. 1 blue and 1 colorless. Exile target artifact creature. A controller creates a 4/4 red blue elemental. I think this card is going to be really interesting in standard, just because you still have food and treasure in the format. You're like, all right, cool. Turn 1, Gilded Goose. Turn 2, make it into a 4/4. And
oh
then
my
you
god,
just have like it just seemed really interesting just to have. But definitely the exile thing is really good too for artifacts and creature. Just better than the 3 mana foretell card that we got in Keldonheim, which is 3 mana
Raven
exile.
form.
Yeah, Raven form. But you could foretell it, which definitely just 3 mana at the end of the day.
Yeah,
even if you foretell, but yeah.
But the worst part about Raven form was it was sorcery speed.
Oh yeah, and it's instant. The Resculpt is instant speed, so I definitely be playable.
Yeah, so this one I could see people obviously like the last resort is using it defensively against someone else's much larger creature.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you could turn 1 and then turn 2, create a 4/4 at their end step, so that way on turn 3 you have a 4/4 just coming at you. Sometimes people can't deal with a 4/4 with no downside.
It's definitely really good. So,
yeah. All right, let's get to my top 3. For the first one, I have Spectacle Mage. 1, and is it creature bird shaman, flying instants and sorcery spells you cast with mana value 5 or greater cost 1 less to cast. So we already have what's it called? Like we have that goblin wizard that does the same thing. And then that's across the board for any spells and instants and sorcery spells. This one is just doing its very best to copy Thrix from Theros.
Yeah.
You know, and so I mean a 3 mana 2/2 flyer that has some upside later onto the game, I feel like is a good catch.
Yeah, it's definitely good. It just takes away the flash and the 5. I think it was a 4/5 or 5/4 from Thrix.
It was a 4/5.
4/5. Yeah, definitely just take away the ability to make the mana cost lower. I feel like it should have been 2 mana. I don't know. Yeah, probably 2 mana.
Yeah, 2 mana would have been good, but I just feel like as just a very budget friendly card. Sometimes the 2 in the air can matter.
Yeah.
Right? Especially in an Izzet deck, it's going to... Yeah. So that's where I was coming from. I just thought it was a really fun card, and it's adorable. It's adorable.
It's definitely amazing art. Love to see it in the foil.
With all the purples and the pinks.
Man, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously, all we ever think about with these new sets that when they come out, we just hope the foil is going to look amazing.
Better than Commander Legends.
Oh, and a lot of things are better than Commander Legends. For my next one, we have Wandering Arkayak. For 5 mana creature avatar, whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery spell, they may pay 2. If they don't, you may copy that spell. You may choose new targets for that copy.
This is definitely a tax card for sure. Definitely will be in EDH tax decks. Whenever opponent gets too greedy and start casting extra turns, you definitely if they're tapped out, you get that turn and you get to take it and you get to have the action of destroying your opponent's about to take 2 extra turns. It's definitely a good card. Don't know about actually maybe standard and historic, just because colorless and since Magecraft and all these copy spells, and even Storm, because this is definitely an anti-storm card. Depends on how fast you get it out, because with having Grape Shot and Tendrils in Agony, you get all those copies.
Wait, hold on. So this one only says cast.
Oh, cast. Never mind.
Storm is just
yeah.
copies, right?
Yeah, never mind. Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, but the only thing I feel like this card was missing was Flash.
Yes.
Because, if it was 6 mana and had Flash and it was a 6 mana 3/3, but it has Flash and it has that ability, that static ability stapled to it.
Yeah.
It would just be better just because when you put this on the board, everyone's going to try to work around it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, but I still think at least for those early turns, the earlier you can get this on the board, the more you can sort of stall out everybody else until you get to play your cards.
Yeah, definitely. I really do like this card too. So
and it has another side, but that side is more of a group hug. So we're not going to talk about that. No, and then so for my last card, of course, we're gonna have a reprint. It is a Grinning Angus, right?
Yeah, Grinning Angus.
For 1 red, you may return it back to your hand, and then when you cast it, you can get 3 mana.
Yep.
And you could only cast this during sorcery speed. Obviously, this is gonna ban one of the things.
Ooh.
This is either gonna ban itself or it's gonna ban Bergie.
Wizards messed up with having this card in historic, and even like not
even
really
in standard.
Oh, well, not standard, just because there's no storm.
Yeah, but you still have Bergie.
I mean, yeah, like Bergie, but like let's talk about historic. You got, oh my god, you got Tendrils of Agony,
and you have Grape Shot.
Grape Shot. I'm just baffled that they just let the 2 card in. It's like if you get, I don't know what's going on with Wizards. Like they let the 2 card, like probably one of them going to get banned, probably Bergie, which is unfortunate.
Oh, you can't ban Bergie? God of storytelling.
Oh man, Bergie's busted with like that. It's just gonna break the format. Like I mean, I guess you can definitely kill Bergie when it does come out. Like I mean, that's definitely like there's no protection around it, but there definitely will be like a red blue storm list going.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if they were gonna ban anything, it would just be the Grinning Angus because that is actually the card that's the issue.
Yeah,
because I mean, like, tell me right now, you play a lot more standard than I do. Is Bergie running rampant around standard? No, right?
No, not really. But definitely will enable Storm just because Goblin Electromancer, Legal and Historic, and Brawl too. Exactly. So you definitely have Brainstorm now. And like all these sweet red spells, faceless looting, like it's
those are all gonna get
really
banned.
Gross.
Yeah. So I mean, Cunning Ignis really, I put it on my list just because of the fact that it combos off with Bergie. I mean, there is a couple of expel damage spells in standard right now.
Yeah. I mean, in standard, I mean, you definitely have the land one that's for 2 red.
Shambling. See.
Yeah, you could definitely do that.
Yeah, or I mean, even in white, you could go for the one that makes angels.
Oh yeah.
So you're like, all right, cool. I'm gonna keep playing it. All right, I'm gonna make 50,000 angels. All right, the client crashed. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel like if any card was gonna get banned, it would just be the enabler, not the one who produced it, right?
Yeah.
So and then for my underdog card for this set, I feel like it's gonna be Mage Hunter, 3 in a black creature horror. Whenever an opponent casts or copies an instant or sorcery spell, they lose 1. Now, I picked this card not because of what I think it's going to do in standard. I picked this card mainly just for EDH.
Is it because of me?
No. I mean, obviously, you do have a somewhat of a storm deck, but no, it just with decks that deal with a lot of life loss.
Yeah.
You could just easily slot it in. Like if you're playing Wound Reflections in your deck, you could put this in there. Yeah. Everyone's taking maybe 2-3 damage.
Is it 2 mana? Well, was it 2 mana or 4 mana?
It's 4 mana.
Okay, I thought it was 2 mana. Like, man.
Oh my god, no! If it was 2 mana, it'd be amazing. You're like, oh, you're gonna ramp. All right, cool. You guys take a life. This is just really just here for the incremental life loss. And I mean, I do have a deck that's like that. That's why I'm a little bit more, partial to this. And the fact that it says lose life, not damage, it gets around things like we got what's that one? That one card that people can't deal damage. It gets around glacial chasms.
Oh right, glacial chasms, like prevent all damage type of cards.
Yeah. So and then plus like when you run into that pesky Marin deck and he keeps playing Spore Frogs.
Yeah.
You're like, that's cool, man, because you're gonna lose life anyway.
Oh man, that wasn't good.
I mean, man, today was really interesting. I really thought we were gonna have separate days for each school.
Yeah, that would have been way better. But today will definitely some good spoilers.
Yeah, so we definitely got a look into each of the schools so far. So I'm really excited for the rest of the set to be spoiled, and you guys should definitely look out for our other video where we're going to be talking about our top 5 mystical archive reprints.
Yes, that will coming out very soon.
Yep. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us today. I hope you guys like, comment, subscribe. Go ahead and hit that notification to let you know that when we come out with new stuff. And that's going to be it for today. So I'm Barry.
I'm Quest, and this is Scry, guys.